Take a roll call for approval.
Trustee Barbian,
Aye.
trustee Olet,
Aye.
trustee Siborowski, trustee McFall,
Aye.
trustee Sell,
Aye.
trustee Chadwick,
It's not on yet.
President Birmingham.
Aye, thank you. All right, with that, we're going to move on to, actually, this is
Hold on one
one
second.
of the areas that I think
Hold
I
on
need
one
Sally. Yes.
Hold
John?
on one second. Is Sarah back on? And
Yeah, I'm trying to call Sally.
Have you opened up the meeting to the public
Yes,
and broadcasting it and all that?
yes.
I just want to make sure before we get into any meat and potatoes. Okay. Thank
Mr.
you.
Michaels, I was going to have Sally give the background on this, as she's part of the planning commission. Do you want to delay a little bit? She's got all the notes. Unless Ken, you can?
Well, Sally wanted to do it because she has some questions, so.
Yeah, and so did I.
Why
Yeah.
don't we- Yeah, my suggestion would be we just move on to the next item
Okay,
and just hold that we just won't start that public hearing yet.
all right. And with that, we'll move on to item number B, BOT 2082, 2021 Village Proposed Budget, FC 2026. Manager Michaels.
We've included for the board's consideration this evening as was, I'm just trying to. As was, oh, the packet didn't, well, yeah, this did. As was discussed in the committee of the whole meeting to amend the budget and the tax levy and then bring resolutions doing such to this meeting tonight. We've done that. We've got the resolution to adopt the budget and then the resolution to adopt the levy.
I got some more discussion here that I'd like to bring up. And so I'm going to start it out. I have I would like to make an option for the board to look at from what we have agreed on here, I know so far. That's something that would bring me a little forward on accepting this budget because I will not, as is the way it is. But first of all, is it my understanding that in this budget, there is $90,000 for a consultant for development? Yes or no?
Correct.
It's 90,000. Okay, well then I'm going to recommend that we cut that in half to 45,000.
You mean for development, for the,
For development person, yeah. Call it
Yeah.
what you want.
okay,
Number two, is there also $235,000
economic director.
for the road that goes to Canterbury to be redone?
Yes.
All right, and this is not the original road that was in the original proposal for roads, correct?
It was in the original proposal for roads.
But we bumped it.
Didn't think we could afford it. Hold on, I'm just getting there.
Yeah, but we're affording it now, I guess my question is,
Yes.
by borrowing money.
We
so
were gonna,
why-
we were gonna bid it as an alternate. Just so that if prices came in good, we could do it. If they didn't, we still had a good base bid.
So so just my question is, what made it change from the original road to this road? I understand, I don't need to ask the question, but I'm gonna ask anyways. Why do we change the road and why suddenly can we borrow money for this road and not to do the alternate? With that, I'm just
No,
gonna say.
hold
my
on, hold on.
propo-
Hold on, I just gotta correct you. I have the memo that we gave to the board. I take little snippets and put them right in my budget in the,
Okay,
so it was Millshire Road, Thornridge Lane, and a portion of Parkview Road, and then the alternate was Enfield Avenue. So it was there. It's just, we were gonna bid and see what the prices came in at.
see what the bids came in, all right. But like I say, I'm gonna ask that we look at this development job, whatever you want to call it. I'm not for 90 grand there. I think that's a sham if we're pushing that way. This is something that came in at the last minute. And I'm just gonna push this proposal that I'm doing right now. Second of all, I'd like to eliminate this extra road, which would allow us to have to borrow $300,000 less than what we are looking at now, and just move forward with everything else that's in that budget at this point. That's what I'm bringing up.
I have
Manager
I have a
Mike.
question, Todd.
Yeah, let me just clarify first. I did contact South Milwaukee, who had a building consultant.
Got it.
Phew.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah.
They were happy with the person they had from Grafe Engineering. I do know in their budget, they had 65,000 in for last year, or for this year, I should say. So I don't know how much we could get for, 45 grand. And I
Did
talked
they
to
say what they did, Todd?
Yeah, and I talked to the administrator in South Milwaukee. She was happy with it, other than
I can't hear.
the person has a different personality, and probably what fits in with South Milwaukee, if you kind of know what I mean without saying it. Whereas that personality, she's very professional, she's very confident, very well spoken. That would fit in very well here.
And it was a consultant, not an employee, correct?
Correct, and they're moving to an employee now because there's the biggest thing they told me it really need for their community, which is very different than us. I mean, I think we all kind of know South Milwaukee. They've got a bunch of little bars, restaurants, beauty salons, what else? A lot of little hometown businesses, and really what they need is somebody to just go hold people's hands, literally go door to door. Hi, how's your business going? Shaking hands, sitting there, which that, you don't need somebody with a master's degree to do that.
Matt,
That's what
Go
we're
ahead,
looking
Matt.
for.
I had a question about the roads, and I apologize for not being able to get on the last meeting, really. Can you just explain, Todd, what the road budget line item number is and what we're borrowing now on your proposed budget? The reason I had reduced it in my spreadsheet was because I believe the total for the 3 roads we for sure were doing was 985. So I thought we'd cut it to 985 and then borrow the 286 to do Enfield. I'm trying to figure out where it shakes out now.
Yeah, I've got it all figured out to the penny here. So the total road projects, the base bid, or no, all the project. Okay, I don't know why he got this to come out straight. So the base bids come out to $985,000.
Yeah.
Only 771,000 of that would come from the general fund. Or not the general, the capital improvement fund.
how much?
771,000. And you guys have this memo we gave.
Yep, I know.
So that meant that we had extra money when we put the budget together. I was comfortable with that because you never know where these road bids are going to come in. And that way,
Okay.
maybe do some additional patches. Some of the like major patches that we tried on, the one we tried on Grange. So that's where we were. Where we are now is, you've got enough street rehabilitation to do, unless some crazy bids come out, but we should have I'm fairly confident. to get all 4 of those roads done. You know, the base bid and the alternate. So we and then to match that up, to tell you what we kind of, you know, we tried to do as much exactly what the board said, but some of it was hard to, you know, think about, okay, what are they actually doing? So for equipment, DPW equipment, we left it at $550,000. That should be more than enough. But we'd like to leave it there just in case, you know, you can't get the equipment for what we think we can. Also, that bond, or not bond, that loan, state trust fund loan that we get, it'll basically say, should I get some of my numbers here? It'll basically be a loan for $986,000, but it'll just say for capital equipment, roads, and building maintenance. They don't, in the end, they don't care what you spend it on. So my intent would be, you'll get the building that we wanted to get done. Get the vehicles that the board wanted to get purchased. And then also, you know, it's all going to become about, you know, which bids come in first. We think we can do good on the vehicles. We're fairly confident with that, with the numbers that will come in. And then whatever's left would basically go to streets patching, or we'd leave it in capital improvement fund balance for money for 2022.
Okay. So
Any other,
if we came in like 200 grand under budget, we would hold it for 2022 instead of an immediate pay down. You think?
You could do that too.
Okay.
Yeah, we could do that.
and that's my,
That's all I had. Those
my
are the
push,
questions I
but,
had.
So I
any
mean,
other trustees have anything to say about this before we, Ron?
Yellow. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I thought in our last meeting, when we were talking about the economic development person, I thought we did talk about only doing a half salary originally rather than 90. That's my recollection. I don't know. So I thought we were looking at 35 to 45,000. It sounds like from what you said, Todd, that what they're doing with theirs in South Milwaukee is not exactly what we were hoping to use ours for. So I don't know if that's a good match or not. That would be something to look at. As for the roads, I'm wondering if we have an option, do the 3 that we have, wait to see how the situation turns out for next year, because we don't know all what's going on, and then price Enfield later if we have the money to do it, or else pay down the loan. Just observations.
Right, to get rid of the alternate, Ron, is that what you're thinking?
Jim, isn't that what you wanted? So 45,000 for the economic development?
I think we'll need more than that, maybe 60.
Yeah, I just don't know if we should do the alternate right away when there's so many things coming at us as we've already. Well, yeah, I mean, as long as it's not a regular employee, I guess. I don't remember us going ahead with the 90,000.
Well,
Maybe forgot from the last meeting.
I
thought
swear we didn't. Even though I said no last time, I don't think, I heard a lot of people discussing this being a consultant and then discussing, we look at part of the money. So Jason, go ahead.
And Matt, did you want to go first?
I just wanted to mention the consultant because I am the one that stuck that in there, and
Yeah, you did.
I put it in there when we were talking about the Boston store, and when the article came out in the news about Greenfield getting that large development off Loomis Road now too. And I was like, all right, we got to do something. And then since then, the news about Southridge being given back to the bank has come out. So
What is
I
the
mean,
consultant gonna do?
a consultant's going to make it their full-time focus to try to make sure that it becomes a viable area. That's what they'll do. If they don't do it, we're gonna fire them because they'll be a consultant and not an employee. And I don't think that Todd has capacity to do his job and focus on being an economic development director, but with a project that needs as much as it needs now. So between the time that I put this on here and now, the need is that much greater. If you look at what Greenfield's done, what Franklin's done, Oak Creek, I mean, we're getting left behind.
Yes, we've been saying that for months.
The only thing I have to say in staff's defense, we're not Franklin, Oak Creek, and Greenfield. We don't have the vacant land.
There's a land, man.
So we have the vacant
Mhm.
stores.
Yeah.
It's not vacant land. You're
Jason,
talking about tens of acres of development, and I do know that Greenfield, I think, has been trying to do that for like 10 years.
Right.
You know, at a interstate with over 100,000 cars a day that probably go by there, and another major state highway, which we don't have, and we don't have 38 acres. Unless we're going to talk about seeing if we can develop parkland. That's the only way you're going to get any large parcels in Greendale.
Right. They're combining, Greenfield is combining the Pancake House and that vacant building next door. I don't know if they're not combining it, but the private property owners are, and I'm imagining that's going to be the next site. And then you got the old Lori Lynn's that they have, I think, 5 guys. I'm not sure what else going there. So I hear what you're saying 100%, but I feel like we're going to unfortunately have some vacant storefronts, which
but is it
be
worth
our land.
bringing this person in for that? I want, you lived in Greendale a long time now, and at least enough time, Matt, to say, to compare us to any of the places around us is like no comparison in land. What we have Southridge Mall, and that's one thing we could look at and put somebody to, and maybe that's a different story. But as far as anywhere else, you have village property down in the village that is owned by a Grand Haven, by a company that's already moving on doing what they're doing. I'm just wondering where you think, except for the 776th Street corridor, there is anything else that would bring a person in to have time to do or places to look at that are out around Greendale. So maybe I'm
Sure. Potentially on
Too
Loomis,
long,
I'm
but-
thinking, but I agree with you, Jim, and I think this is a short-term position. I don't see them being here for more than 2 to 3 years. It's kind of a stabilize and let's figure out a plan for Southridge. And then after that, we're out of space.
go ahead, Jason, please.
So I'm guessing, Todd, I know we did originally discuss taking it to 45. My guess is that you kept it at the 90, and you probably kept it at the 90 due to talking to South Milwaukee and seeing what they spent. Is that assumption correct?
Well, first and foremost, I did what the board said, but I also knew the number was 65,000. So I knew, okay, we were in the ballpark. At least we should be able to fund it.
And if we don't end up needing, say we really 45, say we need 65 or 45 and we have the 90, we could just take that extra money and use it towards improvements of roads or whatever. So it's not like we have to just spend it. Correct?
But we didn't
Okay.
have, well, go ahead, never mind. Anybody else?
I'm for a consultant. I just don't want to do 90,000, but if that, but I agree that we probably should try it out for a year and see how it works.
Sarah,
That's what we talked
Donna?
about last time. So Todd, you're thinking for 60,000, we can get,
South Milwaukee was paying 65. Sarah, can you see if you can move Ron closer to the wireless hotspot?
Ron, you sound like you're drunk.
You never know.
You want to put him in my office?
Donna, please.
Okay, I also think 90 is a lot. 60 would be more in line, like a part-time, economic development director, not an employee, just a consultant, no benefits, just to see if we could, get some business spirit up here, even for 76th Street by, Southwood Plaza there. If any other stores go out, just to see if we can even develop, across on 76th and Grange that, spot we talked about, you know? And also my question would be, if we would not use, I don't really want to borrow money for Enfield, you know, would that reduce the levy then? Or the total, you know, tax, like instead of 2.34 to go down? Where are we at?
If you choose to, yes. I don't know what that number would be.
Because how much was that one? 234,000 or something?
Yeah, yes.
I mean, I wouldn't be for, because that was an add-on, right?
No, we were bidding
was
it
the
as an
extra.
alternate.
That's
not
what I
an
mean.
Yes,
Yeah, right.
this is just my take on Enfield, and you guys can take it for what it's worth. But I feel that, you know, Enfield is kind of like the show place to go down to Canterbury and to actually some part of the middle school there. And I mean, the school has now spent all that money on that to improve the Canterbury school and everything. And I think I'd rather see Enfield done versus, I know that some of these people on these streets are not going to be happy with me saying this, but I mean, if you're going to pick and choose the street, I feel that Enfield is more important with the bus traffic and the amount of traffic that you know goes down that street, more important than Thornridge or Millshire. That's just my opinion. But again, to me, I would leave it in as an alternate, see what the bids come in, and then let's make a decision on that. But I would definitely leave it in for now, because again, like Todd said, and what I've experienced is you never know what if the price of asphalt could be lower or concrete, you know, for curbing. It all depends what the bids come in on. So for again, to just eliminate one street like that, just to say, you know, no, let's at least give it a fair chance, leave it in, and possibly, like I said, see what the bids come in. And then at that point, let's make a decision on, okay, do we want it then versus right now?
And remember, you do have the option to prepay the debt. So if we decided not to do the road because, you know, Mr. Biden put out this $2 trillion stimulus package for roads and just blows road prices way up, you know, we could choose not to do it at that point.
And also, Todd, can I ask you, you said something, we kept it at 550
Yeah.
for the public works budget or for the equipment. When last meeting, we said that we would be comfortable. We think we could squeak in and at least get the 3 piece of equipment for 450. And did I mistakenly?
No, I didn't. When I was going through the notes and I took Matt's, during the meeting, I had Matt's spreadsheet literally open saying, okay, did they agree to this one? This one they did agree. This one they didn't agree. And there is kind of there's really an extra $100,000 in that loan. But I you know, me just knowing how much work we're doing next year, we're going to still be doing the hose tower roof, the work at the police station, the pedestrian bridge downtown. I mean, we've got a lot of work, and 100 grand's not much.
Okay, I totally agree with you. I mean, 100 grand is, you know, in projects like that is, you know, is nothing. But there again, like I said, I thought it was dropped down to 450, not realizing that, you know, just keep it in there as is, and then possibly have money for those projects.
Matt,
I mean,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I had the same question as Robbie, and I'm okay now with hearing Todd's logic of why we are keeping it higher. Pending one question, which is, are there origination fees for the loan? Like, do you pay a fee based on how high the loan is?
No, Sarah, I'm correct, right? Sarah?
I think Kristen's going to answer.
what's that?
I think Kristen's going to answer.
Yeah, I'm not of the understanding that there's any fees such as that. It just comes in the interest rate.
So in that case, we could, if we're over, we can just pay the money back And we're not paying a high origination fee just in order to have that cushion. Okay. In that case, I'm okay with it. I mean, I'd make a motion to approve Todd's budget as proposed.
I'll second it.
Course. Ron?
Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, we hear
From
you
before?
better. Yep.
Okay, so before we prove it, I just want we're going to approve around 65,000 for a consultant. Is that what we're approving? Or are we doing the full 90 and taking the extra money if we have it and putting somewhere else? I just want to be clear because we all went around and talked.
My motion was to just approve it as presented by Todd, just because of the explanation of if we're over on the borrowing and over on the consultant, we don't need to spend it and we can reduce debt with it.
We can just pay it down. That's what I want to know. Okay.
And I'd be for paying it down versus
Okay, I
going
understand.
into 2022.
Still, it was a position
agree.
that wasn't even in this budget. I'm gonna push that forever. Go ahead, Sally.
My thought is about the budget is, I think there are still some places that we can cut and tweak the budget a little bit to bring in just a little bit of extra money to pay for certain things. I would like to put on a condition though. One thing that we haven't even discussed or gone over, and it could result anywhere from $10,000 to $50,000 savings, and that is the Welcome Center. So how do we put that as a part of the budget, saying that this is something we will look at and where we could possibly save the money or spend the money, whichever way that the board decides to go?
Anybody,
guess-
Manager Michaels, you got any?
I guess my answer would be it's in the budget. The Welcome Center is in the budget. We did cut some of the salaries, as that was one of the cuts Matt suggested. During the year, the board can do whatever it wants with the Welcome Center.
Sally, I guess, and that's when I look at the budget too, at a salary. We did deal with the Welcoming Center as far as cutting some of the money off of there. How we move on with that, again, just as anything, it's got a budget now, and then that's what we're gonna have to deal with. So is this something we deal with its own budget and then kind of see where we go? Or when you're saying between 10 and 50,000, this is the due date for the budget today. So we gotta, I don't know what we can do to make that a plus or a minus, but I don't know. My suggestion is that we've made a deal on the Welcoming Center. It's there for next year. It's here. There were some moves to try to move that out. And I think we just deal with its own thing during the year.
The reason I'm even bringing it up is because Matt went through the budget, and he brought in, or he showed us areas that we could cut the budget, 2,000, 5,000 and stuff. And all I'm saying is we moved and we did something about it 2 weeks ago. All right, here's an opportunity. And I'm not saying tonight, I'm saying in the very near future, to look at the Welcome Center for a 10 to 50,000. We can either spend it or save it or whatever, should we need it for other things.
Yeah.
Or we don't, and we can afford to have the Welcome Center. But I think it's a discussion that has not been taken care of, and it is a place where we could save some money. Matt showed us the way. Let's keep going.
But Sally, I think we did discuss the Welcoming Center. It went from being on the chopping block to staying in the budget. And staying in the budget, we cut some of the cost of the salaries down. So I think that's where we took it on little steps. And yes, does it need more discussion? Absolutely. But I don't know how far in this budget. I don't see any room in this budget to go plus or minus except on its own. I'm going to go to Matt a minute. Did you have a thing on this,
Yeah,
Matt?
just on the Welcome Center, since I'm the one that wanted to take it out completely initially, that was not a popular decision amongst the board. So we were then discussing what could we do, I think, to save money, like Sally said. And I just don't know that we reached a consensus at this point, and we got to pass the budget today, you know, maybe not today, but we got to pass the budget, well, today. And I think we just leave it how it is. And then we, like everyone's saying, we work in the very near future to try to figure out how to best make the Welcome Center work and how to best make the numbers work going forward. And it's a topic that's all on everyone's minds now, but I just don't know that today at this budget meeting that we're able to come up with a final plan for the Welcome Center and say, these are the final numbers, because here's what it looks like.
I disagree.
Well, what's the final plan then?
Jason was next. Or next, my Robbie.
Okay.
Jim, I believe the Welcome Center was at 43, 46 grand. Now we cut it down 10, which is 33, 36 grand cost. I'm just going to throw, for that cost, having the Welcome Center in the downtown Greendale, I think is worth it. I don't know. There's been a lot of people that asked me to not get rid of the Welcome Center.
People are going to ask you about hiring this guy up as well. So let's not talk about what we're going to ask about. But so is this saying something you would cut money on this, Mark?
No, I think at the 33, 36 grand, I would recommend keeping it in. I don't know that I'd cut it in. And I guess I'll just take it a step further. I was in the library.
We'll talk a minute on this. I read your whole thing that said between this and this, but why cannot that be talk on its own fruition of what we want to do? We're either going to make money, or we're not going to make money. So, I mean, we're just saying in the budget right now, it has a budget number. It's in operation. It'll stay there as it is. And as we go forward, hopefully when we sit and talk to you and maybe under your direction or under your direction, we'll figure out how to make this money and make it work. I don't think anybody on this screen, on this board, wants it to do any difference. It's just, you've got a starting point and this is where we are. So I don't know what we can talk about tonight to make a plus or minus. I read all your stuff and I don't know if the other people had a chance to read it, but you're right. There are places we can make money, but there are some questions we have to talk about on making that money. So I'm going to say we defer that. Any other comments on this particular point? Yes, Jason.
Is there a possibility to get some grants for the Welcome Center possibly, Todd?
Possibly, but I know a lot of the things, when you get into income-based, we fall short in those because we're too wealthy. I know a lot of the grants that they have for downtowns, they're extremely competitive. And, there's people making careers in Madison out of getting, 100 people to write a grant for $1 million and each for $1 million.
I thought there was one that was like 15,000 that we found.
Pardon?
I thought there was one for 15,000 that Kristen found. It's a possibility.
She didn't tell me that.
Nothing about that.
Well, I think those are
That'd be
things
great.
we can look on, as well as making its own, maybe making its own, nonprofit that goes out for things that it gets. So I
Not
don't,
a bad idea, Jim. I mean, I love the Welcome Center. I think it's a necessity for us. I do.
so Sally, we're not saying we're not going to talk further about it, but I think in the budget, it has a start point. And what we're going to do is sit down and at least till I'm here, we'll talk about where this is going to go. So it's not going to be forgotten. But with that, let's get back on the budget. We have a.
I got a question to ask Todd. Hey, Todd, what is now, what is the tax levy now that we're voting on tonight? What is the actual number?
The increase is 2.34%.
Okay, and then you said on the average household, this is about $6.86.
Kristen, could you answer that? Or Sarah?
No, I'll have to bring up the letter. That $6.86 was the difference of when it was the 1.9% that Todd had recommended, and then doing the changes that got it up to the 2.34. It was an additional 6.86. If you can bear with me, I think it was originally $13 and something. But I
Okay,
can,
okay, that's what you said last time. I wanted to just make sure that that was still in place. So roughly less than $20. And,
Yep. You want me to look it up real quick?
I think I'm good with that because again, I have it written down here. I just wanted to make sure that my number was right on it. So
Thanks.
thank you.
All right, with that, we have a first and second.
Jim, we do have to hold the public hearing before you vote.
I know that.
Okay.
I have one more comment I'm gonna make. My comment again is to this board. I'm gonna go on record as saying, I think this is wrong of us to pull this, what we're doing on this budget. I think it does not go out to where we have things and holes to do. We are borrowing money for things we see or that are in the pockets of our board members. And I'm just saying, this is not the way to go. To borrow money and start will not cease in the future. So I will put this in my pocket as a remembrance and decide how I'll move along with this. So that's all I got to do. With that, we'll go and open this up to a public hearing.
There's 15 people and I have to individually click allow to talk, so just give it a second. Okay, does anybody wish to speak at the public hearing?
Anybody wishing to speak for the public hearing on the budget? Anyone wishing to speak for or against the budget being offered tonight? Am I hearing somebody trying to talk? Not hearing anyone, I will close the public hearing. And with that, we'll take a vote on,
Wait, one more question, Jim.
what's that?
Jim,
Yes,
just one more. I know I already mentioned it again, but I just want to be clear. So if we okay this budget and we end up with excess money from various different directions, at some time we would end up paying down the debt, and we're not necessarily going to just use all the money that's there. If we have some savings, it's going to go back in. Matt, you said you concur in paying it down also, correct? All right.
I do.
Jim,
Yes.
does that change your positions at all?
Yes, I agree. I'm for that
Okay.
also.
Todd,
But the board is going to have to decide that at a later date.
Jim,
Once they
does
add-
that change your position?
say that again, Ron.
I just want to make sure that if we do have extra money from any one of these directions that we've talked about, that before we allocate it, we consider strongly paying down the debt, which is what you're concerned about with this loan. If we have a chance to pay down 200, 300,000 in April, does that change some of your feelings or not?
No, but Todd's correct. That would be a discussion the board would have at that time when we see where we're at. So Sally, please.
I'm sorry, Ron, about every other word is not coming through. So if somebody who does hear Ron could paraphrase for me, I would appreciate it.
Ron,
Sarah, hold on once.
Ron's just saying, Sally, that any extra money left from the loan, we would take the money and pay off towards the loan itself and not use for anything else. That's what he's suggesting.
Thank you, Jim.
and I
Yes.
think we're concurring, but Todd says we have to vote on that at a later date.
Yeah, and Ron, since you're still having trouble getting through, could you move to the other side of the table in my office? That's the closest to the Wi-Fi.
Sure.
He always
I
has
think she heard that.
computer, I think.
All right, Jim, my suggestion is we make sure that there's nobody that's in attendance that wants to make comments during the public hearing. I think it's very important. I know if John Macy was here, that would want to say. So Sarah, can you give them another opportunity?
Sure.
And you are hitting everybody, all 15 of them.
Yep.
It looks like that Emily might want to talk, whoever that is.
Oh, I have no comment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, where did you get that?
Okay, everybody should be able to talk. They may have to mute themselves, but
Anyone wishing to talk on this budget? Once again, anyone wishing to make comment on this budget? I hear none, therefore we'll close the public hearing. We do have a second, so we'll take a roll call for approval.
Trustee Olet,
Aye.
trustee Saborowski.
Aye.
Trustee McFall,
Aye.
trustee Sell,
Aye.
trustee Chadwick,
Aye.
President Birmingham,
No, unfortunately.
trustee Barbian.
Tough one. Yes.
All right, with that, we have a budget. We'll move along. We'll go on back to item A, BOT 2081. This is the special use permit for the proposed addition to a main resident at 61 and garage at 6812 Northway, Greendale. Sally, you want to review this with us, please?
Yes, be happy to. This is one of the honeymoons, the buildings that is right there on Northway. Mr. Ramos has proposed 3 things. He did it all in one, but I'd like to do it in 3 separate stages so that everybody realizes what he's doing. Ken, I'm going to rely on you to jump in and say some words if I misspeak, okay?
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, Mr. Ramos is expanding his honeymoon suite. He owns both sides. The first thing I'd like to cover is his garage. As you know, there is a 2-car garage kind of behind him. He owns half of it. What he would like to do is expand that garage flooring to a second one so that he would own 2 parts, and he would have a car that would drive, that would be parking not only on his garage, but also on the cement slab next to it. Okay, that's one part. A second part, he is adding a mudroom onto what we considered the back of the honeymoon suite. There is a sidewalk that he is putting in that goes from the new what would be the new garage section all the way to that mud room. Reason behind that is fairly obvious. Rather than always walking out to the front of the house to get in, he can, the family can enter from the back. So hence the mudroom. The third thing that he would like to add is a bedroom, a master bedroom, and that would be behind what is currently on the, it would be what you would consider the east side of the building. There are some discrepancies in what he would like to do. For example, he is intruding in or going past the I don't want to say the landmark, but he is intruding into that section by almost 5 to 6 feet into the easement, if you will. The structure itself is. He also has, if you were looking at the honeymoon suite, he has also taken that room and offset it. So that when you look at the honeymoon suite, you would see not only the honeymoon suite, but you would see a part of his offset room to the side. You will notice that the Plan Commission voted it down. He did not adhere to the setback, which is the main reason. Another reason is the guidelines very clearly state no additional bedroom. And please remember, these are guidelines, okay? Because it is a special use, we have the right as a board to waive those situations or adhere to what the guidelines are suggesting. Mr. Ramos also has not given a complete, if you will, the roof. He has not drawn out completely what he wants, not only for the addition, but also for the mudroom. He hasn't had any of that. He has turned in no materials that he was going to be using. For example, the honeymoon suite is sided. He's hoping to continue that same coloring as the house is, or as the honeymoon is currently, but he submitted none of that. So that was probably the main reason why the Plan Commission said no. Okay, Ken?
Okay, just a couple clarifications. The garage is a full garage addition. So that's not just a parking pad. And as a 2-unit building, they're allowed 2 garage spaces per our planner. So the garage being the house being a duplex, they're allowed to have 2 garages on the property. The 3rd car garage is actually on the neighbor's property, belongs to them. I think it was missed by Plan Commission. He did have a materials list. The additions, all the addition portions are going to have matching siding to the existing siding or existing addition that was on the house. The rest of the house, he's going to remain as the original that's there. And he was going to match windows. The only thing he did not have was the roof pitches. So there was, in the application, you can see it says siding and windows to match what is existing there now. And I think the original part where it's not the easement, it was the setbacks that he wasn't meeting. So, and at the meeting, there was discussion amongst all the plan commissioners, and I apologize, it wasn't Donna who seconded, it was Jackie. So,
And And there was also a concern about the neighbors knowing about it.
Yeah.
Mr. Ramos went out and got 5 neighbors to agree that they understood the addition and were okay with it.
And just a little clarification on what the actual motion was at the Plan Commission was made by Commissioner Peter Davis, and it was to accept his proposal, except that he required him to meet the setbacks. And by meeting the setbacks, it would also push that wall that was visible from Northway behind the house, which would then meet our conditions for that portion. So if he met the setbacks and he met the conditions for the house being set back, the only thing that was really outstanding at that time would be the bedroom addition.
But by the offset, by that is the wall would be continuous. So it would look like it would be the attachment of the bedroom to the house would be one continuous rather than the offset. And that was a major point.
So is he on tonight?
Yeah, let me just unmute him.
Hello?
We should be starting the public.
Good
hearing.
evening.
Gary?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Oh, thank you very much.
All right, this is your point. We've been briefed, as you heard, on your project. So wait a minute, Todd. Yes.
Can we start officially the public hearing?
Oh, yes, okay.
The main reason I think we should is because if he's going to speak, definitely we got to be in hearing. So
I agree. What I need to do first is I will open this public hearing. Public hearing is open, and I will hear from people for and against this project. Jerry, we'll start with you.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead, Jerry.
Okay. I am Romulo Gerardo Ramos. I'm here with my wife, baby. We have been Greendale residents for 30 years. Our close-knit family clan is situated in different parts of Greendale. We wanted to improve the living conditions in our property at 6812, 6814 Northway. Our original thought was to break down the wall between the two sweetheart units and make it into a single unit
Northway. He wants to add on.
with bigger rooms while maintaining the outside facade. However, we wanted to maintain the historical value of our building and preserve 6814 as a sweetheart unit. An 84-year-old woman whose mother owned the property before requested us if she could rent 6814. While we were cleaning, painting, and replacing the floors, she was there every day, practically begging us to let her rent the place, as she wanted to reminisce and hold on to her past. This reinforced our intention to maintain 6814 as a sweetheart unit. Sorry. However, sorry, so I'm having problems with my voice. However, the size of the bedroom in a sweetheart unit is so small that commonly sized used furnitures that will not fit in it, such as a queen bed, a recliner, a dresser mirror and chair, and bookshelves, etc. Anticipating being 70 years old and anticipating handicap accessibility, this room is not functional. Thus, we are requesting a special use application for a building permit be approved. We are requesting that a new bedroom be allowed as an addition to an already existing addition done to 6812. Cognizant of the importance and historical value of the Greendale original, we have retained 90% of the sweetheart building to maintain the historical integrity of the unit. We are fully supported by our neighbors who are surrounding us per the signatures that we submitted to you. So regarding the setbacks, we are amenable to push it back in line with the existing building as requested by the planning board. We don't have any problem with that. And as to the use of the as a bedroom, that's what we're requesting because we needed additional space. These sweetheart units don't have basements. It's only crawl space, so we needed also room for storage. My wife goes to Macy's, buy these comforters, duvets, and all these big items that you need a place to store in. That's why we have a bigger walk-in closet and storage space. This is not such a big addition, and considering that we have 12,253 square feet, we are trying to correct the notes in the minutes saying that it was 10,000 something. Based on the survey that we just had, which Ken requested us to have, it's 12,235, which increases our floor area ratio, meaning that the unit that the addition that we have is well within the requirements. Considering that we may be needing wheelchairs, that room is so small. So that's the reason why we're asking for the possibility of having a bigger room for us to be able to make it livable. So now the side yard setback, my wife is having a hard time walking. That's the reason why we're moving to a one level. We are presently in a two-story building and she can't go up anymore. So that's the reason why we're anticipating that. And the room being so small, and if we use that, it will not be functional for us. That's the reason why we're asking this to have a bigger room. Now, the following elements are not compliant. Side yard setback, we will comply. Exterior wall location, we will comply. The roof slope is actually, the existing slope of the roof in the main building is 5.5 per foot. And the addition that was added to 6812 was 5 inches per foot. The recommended, the addition will have the same slope to maintain the integrity of the slope in the existing structure. So looking at the non-compliant items, I think we have complied with everything except for that note saying that no bedrooms are allowed, which I'm still wondering why it is there, considering the way of life that we have now has changed a lot from 1938. Okay. Plus, our family is so close culturally. We have a very close family. We have Packer nights. We have babysitting too. Our grandchildren are always there, so we need moving room to move around. So that's the reason why we're requesting for this addition, which is actually visibly is hidden behind the building. If you're going through Northway to our beautiful Northway, you won't be able to see that. You will see the beautiful historical sweetheart building right there. We even did not change the what you call it. We didn't even change the cinder blocks. We maintained the cinder blocks. We maintained all the buildings, and just to maintain that character. A lot of buildings that you see have changed it. We're only following the addition that was approved before that had a 4-inch vinyl siding, and that we have to carry to the existing addition in the back. So my wife is into gardening, and since we're in a garden village, she would like to really have, and she's even planning on joining the community out there. And she would really make the landscaping out there beautiful. And in fact, my 3-year-old granddaughter said, we're even fixing it. But when she was there playing in the ground, she said, I want to live here forever, Grandma. So that's the reason why that maintained it reinforced our intention to have something for the whole family.
It could possibly use the for visitors.
And then if you need, as was discussed during the plan commission, if somebody wishes, perhaps if they want to see an existing sweetheart unit, I could make arrangements with the old lady who wants to preserve that anyway, for them to be able to have a view of what an existing sweetheart unit is. But what we're tampering right now, where we're putting an addition, is there's already an addition there, and we're just adding to that addition, which is hidden in the back. So that's the reason why this request is a special application, and at the same time a variance for the guidelines that was done, I don't know when, but if you really look at it, the way of life, people change. All the amenities that we use now for our life are not the same scale as what was used in 1938. So that's the reason why we are looking forward to
6812 is no longer an original since
and yeah, 6812 is no longer an original since that addition has been done in there. So, and that was by sides. Yes, my wife has been feeding me some information here, and you know that she's the head of the family. I'm the head of the family, but she's the neck. Wherever the neck goes, the head follows. So I have to try to listen to her. So if there are any questions that we could answer.
Well, Amos, we just got to go on with the, we're in a public hearing.
Okay,
So
thank you very much.
Is anyone else wishing to talk for or against this project? Anyone else to talk for or against this project? With that, I will close this public hearing and I'll take questions from the board. Ron Barbian, please.
It seems like he's met the issues that we had, Ken. I've been in those.
Ron, you're having trouble.
And they are very small, so putting a bedroom.
Ron, can you hear us?
Okay.
You're breaking up.
Yes. Yes, I hear you fine. I think what he's doing is he's meeting us quite a ways and putting an addition on a very small home back there, I think is reasonable. As long as the setbacks, Ken, has he met what you're talking about?
He has offered to meet the 9-foot setback for the side yard. And then by meeting that 9-foot setback, he will then be okay with his wall alignment too. The wall alignment will be behind the existing wall of the addition that was put on previous to the guidelines.
Then he's met the conditions of what we expect, correct?
Other than it being a bedroom, where the guidelines say we're not going to add a bedroom to a house.
Have a bedroom.
It's a bedroom.
But those are guidelines. I mean,
right.
Come on. I mean, I've been in those homes. They're pretty small.
That's for the board to decide.
So with that said, Ron, with what you're saying, that's why they're called sweetheart places, is they're small and meant small. One of the things I had in looking at this is that we would take out one of our sweetheart places that will be gone forever. It will never be what it was. So that's what I'm just looking at. Love Greendale just as much as he does and grew up here, and we're going to take out one of those residents. So as long as that's understood, it's just going to be gone. So it's not ever going to look like it was. So
can I make a correction, please? Can I make a correction, please? The 6814 is already not an original.
Very good.
Because you already approved an addition to that.
So listen, we're not talking about that. We're talking about your place. So this is the board's time to talk a little bit, and so I'm gonna ask you to hold up a minute and we'll let you have them. Jason,
We
please.
have let,
Jason,
let bedrooms go into other originals. Maybe they aren't the honeymoon ones, but there's several additions on other originals through the years that we've
You are
allowed.
correct.
I
You
don't
are
know why
correct.
we would single this one out. It's
yes.
just my opinion.
Jim, did we
Jason?
close the public hearing yet?
What's that?
Did we close the public hearing yet?
I did, yes.
Okay.
I
Then,
did close it and said,
Mr. Ramos can't say anything else. Because nobody else can say anything else.
yeah, I asked that twice.
Okay, Ken, what is your opinions on this and what have you seen with this, I guess?
Well, the building is still partial Sweetheart. He's not touching the Sweetheart unit that has not been altered. His side of the building had an addition put on it, I don't know how many years ago, and it's been remodeled inside. So that unit is not a Sweetheart anymore. It's
Honeymoon.
different from a Sweetheart. The outside still remains the same, but they had an addition. He's not changing any of the original outside anymore, other than where the mudroom is going on. His addition is going on to the previous addition. So I'm trying, it's totally up to the board. I understand the no bedroom, no additional bedroom. I don't know if you put a rule on that they create a den out of the existing, then he's not creating a new bedroom. He's still the one bedroom, but it's not an original Sweetheart. He is offering to leave half of the building original Sweetheart, even on the inside.
So if we were to allow him to do this though, does that open us up to allowing other people to do other stuff?
It may, but they still would have to go through the same procedure through the board. And if there's other options to meeting the guidelines, then that's up to the board at that time.
Okay. Thank
But
you.
yes, Jason, I
Yes,
think that it would be.
Trustee Sells?
Yeah, I don't really want to, I guess, change the facade of these original buildings, but I like that the addition is really in the back where you can't really see it from the road very much. So I'm not offended, I guess, by this alteration, and I guess I would be okay with it personally.
Other comments?
Oh, Jim,
Yes.
can you hear me? Yeah, I guess, my comment, even at the planning commission, was we only have like 6 or 8 of the honeymooners and that this would be being altered. But I guess I was not aware that it is not, I thought it was original and it would be changing. I didn't realize it's already got an addition. Is that correct, Ken?
Yes, it had an addition several years ago by a previous owner. It was probably before the guidelines were put in force.
And what kind of addition is it? Just the mudroom or what's an addition?
No, it's a living room. It's a living family room that's on there already.
Oh, wow.
They expanded to the east at that time.
So then now it's going to be even more then, bigger.
Well, but it's all behind the house, and it's only the addition he's proposing to put on is onto that already portion of an addition, and there's a small hallway between. He set the house back, the addition back on the back of the house 3 or 4 feet so that the roof line would not intrude with the original roof line on the original building. So you don't see any roof line change on the front of the building.
Right, I mean, and it does look nice, I do have to say, but I would not want to go against the guidelines by saying it would be a bedroom. I wonder if it could be smaller. And then also, because I do think we're opening ourselves up, Jason, like you said, by allowing it, because if we could do it for one, you can't say no to another. That would, to me, that wouldn't be fair. And again, these are the honeymooners, which are, there's like the other ones are what, 350 of them, or however many there are compared to the 6 honeymooners, I don't know. Also about the garage, did you say that the garage that is being proposed is on the neighbor's property?
No, the garage is actually a 2-car garage now, which straddles the property line. They're proposing adding a third car to their side, which is allowed under the guidelines because it's a two-family building.
Okay,
They're allowed 2 garage spaces.
okay.
And
Ally?
just a clarification on the garage. Okay, there is already existing garages that have had the 3. Okay, so this is not something new and stuff. Okay, and the guidelines do say that each resident has the right to a space to park. Okay, and right now, by putting on that addition to the garage, that would give the person next to Mr. Ramos's place a place to park.
Further comments?
And I think it's worth mentioning too that we could easily take this and ask Mr. Ramos to work on the submissions that the Graf has asked him to do or submit, you know, the drawings and change them and stuff, and have it go back to the Plan Commission to have them go back over it and stuff before it comes back to the village board. We could do that.
That's a good idea,
So
Sally.
I agree, Sally.
So
There's
you-
just too many unanswered questions on this.
I would make a motion for that.
Hold on a minute. I'm gonna just say, so the rest of the board knows you weren't at the meeting. So there are 3 board members that are there, and at the meeting, we discussed, there were several areas that Graf said were missing on his plan, and we didn't have, information was missing that we need. So let me ask Ken before we take a vote on this. So Ken, you're saying he can meet all the requirements? You've talked to him and he can and will do that?
If he moves the house to meet the 9-foot setback, it will then bring the house behind the wall line on the east side. So it would actually be offset from the existing house. You wouldn't see it anymore. Currently, under what he proposed, that you could see the addition. The second, so that's would meet the setback requirements. It would meet the offset requirements. So that the only thing he is not meeting is a bedroom. That is the one and only item. He did have all his materials listed on his application. The additions are going to match the existing siding of the earlier addition. He's going to leave all the rest of the original work on the house as it exists now. So the
Ken,
only,
doesn't he need to do if he's going to do what you said about the offset and everything, which is one of the requirements, wouldn't he have to resubmit the drawings to you to make sure that that's covered, as well as samples of the of what he is going to be doing?
yes, and you could put that as a condition that the staff would approve all the changes per the board's requirements. So he would have to submit a new survey, and then he could put the drawing, or he could put supply the siding, but still the one and only item is that it's a bedroom. And that's up to the board to decide do they want to allow a bedroom or not.
Okay. Jim, if you don't mind, I'll go ahead and make a motion.
Good. Well, let me ask one more question. With doing that again, clarify with me. We are setting an idea that although we say no bedroom, we might as well throw that out of the book and just say,
Right, you might as well change the whole thing, all the recommendations.
Yes, you are, but you got to concern, a lot of the other houses don't have the square footage for empty room that he does. I mean, you would then have to, all the other houses would still have to meet all the setbacks. So yes, you are adding a bedroom to an original.
so 10 years ago, 10 from now, when the next board wants to change things on this book, I mean, we're not going to care, but it's just what we have that for. It's supposed to be a guideline. And does it matter one way or the other? I suppose I'm to the board, I'm asking. Is it a bedroom? If it's a big kitchen, it's a big dining room, I guess.
Well, what was the reason? I wasn't
bedroom,
around
you
when
could
they
do it.
made that. Can I say something? Sally or Jim, were you around? What was the reasoning behind not adding a bedroom and not having that be allowed?
Basically, it was density. Okay, the more bedrooms you put on, the more children you have, the more cars you have, and so on and so forth. It's a density issue for an area that is, the homes are so close together. There's no parking. Everybody today has a car and so on and so forth. And that was where that originated from.
Go ahead, Sally, if you need to, please. If you want to give a motion, say it, Sally.
Okay. I move that the comments from Graf from his revised memo of November 12th, 2020 be followed, as well as meeting the guidelines for the setbacks, as well as moving the exterior wall, the east side, parallel to become perpendicular and compliant to what is currently seen on the honeymoon suite, and to have that first go to the plan commission before it comes back to the village board, and to be reviewed by the village inspector.
Second the motion.
Any other comments?
Jim?
Yes, please.
Jim?
Yeah, Ron, go ahead.
I thought Ken had just said, and, it depends on the vote goes, but we could make the motion just that it goes to Ken to make sure that they're done. So we don't have to send it back to the planning commission, the pleasure of the board though, but seems like we're making him go through a lot of.
Chadwick?
What Ron is saying is correct. You do not have to send it back to the village, to the plan commission. You can, the village board can approve it tonight with the following the setback guidelines, the exterior parallel walls, and making sure that he complies with the Graf memo of November 12th, 2020. And if that staff can approve as with those conditions, you can do that.
All right, other comments? Yes, Ken?
The only thing I wanted to clarify is that as part of Graf's memo, it was that they could not, that the bedroom was not allowed. So you would have to make sure that you were allowing the bedroom and everything else followed the rest of their comments. That is the only condition that is not really currently being followed, because the applicant has already agreed to do the setbacks. So still the item is the bedroom.
Okay, so how do, trustee Chadwick?
If you want to do with the motion with the motion that's already placed, you can veto it. All right. If you want it not to go to the plan commission, if you want it to go to Ken and have Ken handle it, okay, then they would need a new motion.
Yeah, but he's saying we have to change the bedroom idea.
Still would have to allow the bedroom, yeah.
I have no problem with being a bedroom. I can see why he needs the space. And I look throughout our village,
And let's take it
there's
out
so
of
many
the,
originals that have allowed bedrooms. I don't
let's take it out of
understand
the
why we want.
guidelines.
Well, the guidelines are just that, guidelines. They aren't cast in stone.
Let's take it
Yeah, I
out
mean,
of
if
the,
right, if we do allow it, we'll have to take it out.
I wouldn't
Correct.
recommend taking it out.
Well,
that's what we want to do.
They always were just guidelines. That's all they were. I was here then. I remember exactly how Sally did. They were just guidelines.
I made that very clear right from the beginning when I started this. These are guidelines.
Can you make a motion that clears it up and see if Sally's okay with it?
Well, I don't know if you have to vote on her motion and, if it votes down
No,
and if someone makes a new one.
No, if Sally would say yes, okay, well, I'll change it to that, just so we get everything correct.
Okay, if it was me making a motion, I would make a motion for approval for the
You have a
bedroom.
motion on the floor.
He
Deal with
asked-
the motion on the floor.
Wait a minute, he's just giving a suggestion. Go ahead, Sally. Go ahead.
Do you want me to continue?
Yes, and it's not an emotion you're
Yeah,
making.
what I'm trying to do, hold on a second. Sally,
Yes,
what I'm trying to do is get Ken to clean up your motion so that you will accept it and we can move on. Because I think we can do that, and I think it'll be acceptable to you.
I see that, and I'm seeing where the one part under room addition, under the graph, the thing is that Ken is referring to, it says room type. It says master bedroom, and in parentheses, it says not compliant. Okay, that would be the part that I would have to adjust in my motion to take it out. And Todd, you are correct.
Yeah, so you could have all of your motion the same, but you would include adding a bedroom to your motion if the board wants to go as that for approval.
Correct.
So is that the motion then?
I can adjust the motion to that. I don't know how the second is.
I don't understand the motion.
The motion is, as everything is, he has to comply to everything that is in the graph presentation. Okay, but we, as a board, go ahead and say that the master bedroom, which is not compliant, is dropped from that. And he has to meet the
Say it
setback.
is
He has
compliant
to
then,
meet-
Sally?
he has
We
to
would
meet the
say it
setback
is
and the
compliant?
side.
No, you're just saying you're allowing it under a special use.
Oh,
Right.
So everyone who would want a bedroom added to an original at this point, in the past, you didn't have the
Could have
guidelines and bedrooms were added. So everyone would still have to come to the board for a special use permit.
right. But if you allow it for one, I mean, how can you say no to another?
They still
Right.
have to meet all the other conditions though too, and
Sure, I
a lot of
understand
the
that.
originals, you can't do that because they don't have the room with the setbacks.
Okay, does the second agree or not?
Do I agree with her motion or what?
Yes,
The amended motion.
Okay,
all right.
Yes.
We got a first and a second. Let's take a roll call for approval as presented,
No, as amended.
amended.
Yes, amended.
I'm so sorry, but I still don't understand what the motion is.
Would you like? me to-
Mr. Ramos
allowing it.
basically gets everything he wants.
Oh,
Okay, as long as he complies with the setback, as long as he moves the east wall, and he shows all the equipment or all the things for the roof, the siding, he gets his mudroom, he gets his addition to the garage.
Matt,
if it go into the plan
he's
commission
saying we
first?
don't care if it's.
Yeah.
bedroom.
And
But
it does not go to the plan commission.
but your motion said it did, that's what I seconded, that it went to the planning commission.
You're now saying it doesn't.
Okay, so I'm not seconding that.
Okay.
I don't agree with
hold on,
that.
Hold on.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, on the original motion Sally made to send it back to plan commission and back to the village board, why don't we vote on that? So at least we kill that, because I get the impression that that's what's gonna happen.
So are you saying it goes planning commission? It does not.
It does.
Your original one said plan commission and village board. That's what I remember hearing. Melanie, did you hear anything different? Okay, why don't we take a vote on this so we can get out of this meeting before midnight?
So we are dropping the plan commission and the village board
Oh.
is approving as it stands.
No, it's going to planning commission.
No, it goes to the planning commission, Sally.
Okay,
We're voting on your initial motion, Sally, and we're gonna vote no, I think, and then vote on a new motion. Is my-
okay. Goes back to the plan commission.
Jim, let's go.
Trustee Sabrowski,
Can I go last? Because I honestly, I don't even know what I'm voting on.
If we're not clear on the vote on the, we
We're
need,
really basically just having it go back to planning commission.
we need to
So should I-
clarify this motion. The motion is, again, all setbacks are met. Everything that he has is met and by the requirements of Ken and our staff. And that we are gonna take away the part where it says bedroom. And we're gonna allow him to have a room that he can build on. And it needs to go to the planning commission the way Sally's
Then
original.
it would have to come back to us after that anyhow, right?
Then it comes back to us.
Yes.
But Jim, are we
Then-
saying that we're just saying go to the planning commission, or we're saying we're gonna allow the bedroom?
Yeah, we're saying we are, and then the planning commission will.
Yeah, right. Well, that's not what we want.
All right.
Okay.
Somebody else give a try. So we don't have a motion on this one, so I guess, how do we take forward?
Ken, could you make a motion?
I'll make a suggestion. huh?
Yeah, make
Please make a suggestion motion.
Make a suggested motion and let's see if anybody will adopt it. We'll make that motion.
My suggested motion would be that the board approves the project as long as it meets the setbacks, which are 9 feet from the property lines. And that the wall of the addition is parallel or behind the existing east wall. The bedroom is allowed. And that Mr. Ramos works out with staff, the siding, the roof pitches, and the windows, which he did have on there. They were gonna match the existing addition and they were gonna match the originals for the windows.
I make that motion.
I second it.
Does somebody
right,
want to
Herb.
call the question?
What's that?
Does somebody want to make a motion to call the question to stop debate?
Call the question.
Is there a second?
I second it.
All right, it's not debatable. All you do is vote on it. This is to call it, say it ends debate.
So this is saying he can have a bedroom.
No, this motion just says that's it. We're not talking anymore. The next vote we're gonna have is gonna be to vote on this.
There is no more discussion. That's
And
the vote right now. Go ahead.
Could
vote,
we,
please.
could we at least have the motion read again?
Sally, this motion is just that it does not discuss anymore, then we'll make the motion.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
Trustee Sabrowski,
Aye.
Trustee McFall,
Aye.
Trustee Sal,
Aye.
Trustee Chadwick,
Aye.
President Birmingham,
Aye.
Trustee Barbian,
Aye.
Trustee Olet.
Aye.
All right, now the motion is. Can you
What
read it
Ken
back to us?
is outlined.
The motion would be to approve the addition as a bedroom as long as it meets the setbacks and the wall requirements of the guidelines.
Ken, is all this in that report? Aren't we just saying he has to comply with the report except for the bedroom, which he can have?
Yes, basically that.
Let's take another 2 minutes.
Okay, so you approve it based on he complies with the report from Grafe and you're approving a bedroom.
And there was a motion and a second, that's it. No more discussion.
Yes.
All right. With that, we'll take a roll call. Approval.
Trustee McFall,
Aye.
trustee Sal,
Aye.
trustee Chadwick,
No,
President Birmingham,
No.
trustee Barbian,
I,
trustee Olet,
No,
trustee Siborowski.
How does it feel?
I hate it.
I know.
I think Todd purposely did this.
No, I just want to move on.
Aye.
Okay.
All right,
Passes.
we still have to do the public hearing item B, the tax levy resolution. I suggest we continue the public hearing on the levy and take comments.
Say that again.
We did the public hearing for that one.
Did that.
We did, but I'm a little leery to say we did when we only did half of it. When we talked about approving the budget, I'd be safer if we said, yeah, we had a hearing on the levy too.
All right. So you want me to action on resolution 1 and then 2?
The first one we already did. We have to do our 2017 setting
Okay.
tax levy.
All right.
So open the
We just need to vote on this. Don't need to go back and.
No, I would have a public hearing. I would continue the public hearing and listen to comments on the tax levy.
Okay. With that, I'm gonna continue and open up the public hearing again. We will consider action on resolution R 2020-17, setting the 2020 tax levy. With that, the public hearing is open. Anyone wishing to make a comment on the tax levy, please do so.
All right, everyone is allowed to talk now. So.
Okay. Again, anyone wishing to be for or against, or just want to talk on the tax levy, please do. Or with that, we will close the public hearing and we will take a vote on resolution R 2020-17, setting the tax levy for 2020.
Trustee Sal,
Aye.
trustee Chadwick,
aye.
President Birmingham, trustee Barbian,
I,
trustee Olet,
aye.
trustee Siborowski, trustee McFall.
Aye.
Very good. All right, we'll move out of this section and we'll go to item number 5, citizens' comments. First opportunity for citizens on the line to make a comment. Ask you to limit one comment for 3 minutes. Again, anyone wishing to talk, please just give us your name and address for the record. Again, anyone wishing to make a comment, the citizen comment area? With that, we'll close this area and move on to item number 6, standing committees. Trustee Barbian, Finance Committee.
thank you, President Birmingham. First 2 items have already been budget and the tax levy have been taken care of. Finance Committee is recommending to the board to approve operator license FC 2027 for Maddie Anderson, Panther Pub, Kendall Hafner, Panther Pub, Christine Aberderis, The Stakeout. All training and record checking has been completed. Finance Committee would recommend a approval from the board.
Second the
I
motion?
need a second.
Second.
Did I have a second?
I seconded it.
Kenneth?
Any discussion on these? Okay. Any discussion on these beverage operators?
I appreciate the
I would
training
ask for
being
roll call
completed,
then.
Chief.
Trustee Chadwick? Trustee Chadwick? I can't see her mouth, so I can't see what she's voting.
He's got to unmute her.
Trustee Chadwick, put your mic on.
Aye.
Thank you.
President Birmingham?
Aye.
Trustee Barbian?
Aye.
Trustee Olet?
Aye.
Trustee Siborowski?
That's just,
The motion passes anyway, passes by.
Trustee McFall?
Aye.
Trustee Sell?
Aye.
Next item is temporary Class B license. Finance Committee is recommending approval from the board for Vintage 38 for the tree lighting, 5690 Broad Street extending in the parking lot, Vintage 38 Dickens, 5690 Broad Street extending the parking lot on 12-4. Ricardo's Dickens, 5627 Broad Street extending in Broad Street 12-4. Could I get a second on this?
Second.
Any discussion on these items? I see none, so I'd ask for roll call, please.
President Birmingham?
aye.
Trustee Barbian?
Aye.
Trustee Olet?
Aye.
Trustee Siborowski?
Aye.
Trustee McFall?
Aye.
Trustee Sell?
No.
Trustee Chadwick?
Aye.
Thank you. Next item, Finance Committee's internal audit review of bills presented for payment. Each month, we rotate to various trustees the responsibility to pull randomly P cards, checks, and ACHs, look at their detail and see everything is in order and report back. Who had this month? Did anyone complete this month?
Who what?
Whose turn was it?
I do not know if anyone got them with it being a different meeting, and with
Oh,
my
that's the
deputy
first.
treasurer being out again. I don't know that she sent it to anybody. I don't remember anybody pulling anything.
Okay, then the Finance Committee would recommend that this be pushed to our next meeting and assigned to whoever is next on the rotation.
Yes, I'll second that.
Okay? Nobody disagrees in that?
Nope.
Okay, then that's what's done. Last item is second last, the approval of accounts payable for checks payment. Finance Committee recommends to the board to approve accounts payable checks number 56912 through 57005 in the amount of $445,881.70. Recommends approval of ACH payments 12968 through 12982, amount of $577,837.29. Also recommending the approval for P card purchases 1 through number 40, $116,795.74. Grand total, we're asking for approval, $1,140,514.73. I'm looking for a second.
Second.
Matt,
Were these the same bills that we weren't able to have an audit on?
Does any trustees have any questions about any of the items within the packet that they received?
Ron?
They just weren't audited.
That is correct.
Correct.
Yeah, if they weren't audited, I mean,
Shouldn't we wait?
Kristen,
Pastor, I thought that's what you
what's
said.
the impact?
Yes,
if we
that is
table
correct.
it?
Ron, you're freezing on the screen.
By our random auditing. Yes,
So I thought that you said that we shouldn't, we're not gonna vote on it.
I
until we
agree
audit
that
it.
what trustee said made sense. I'd like to table this item.
I thought you did.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
I'm
have,
asking to
approving it.
table this.
Right.
we gotta get it.
Okay, it's tabled. Right. Okay, that concludes the finance committee.
Thank you.
We'll
trustee-
pick this up next time.
Thank you, trustee Carpenter. Appreciate it. With that, we will go to planning commission. I think we took all of what we had.
Nothing to add.
Okay. Library board, trustee Sells.
We have a meeting tomorrow, but the last meeting we did discuss the budget. Virtual programming does continue for all ages, and details for the village or the library's participation in Dickens is also being discussed at length, especially because of the fact that it's indoors potentially or partially, and that poses some concerns given where we're at here with
Thank you,
the
trustee
COVID
Sells.
outbreak. Thank you.
Thank you. Public Works Committee, trustee McFall.
No meeting.
Board of Health, trustee Sherberg.
We had a meeting today. Also had actually a private meeting with Sue also. COVID cases are at an all high time right now. And Greendale, which is really kind of sad, is second out of our whole community. The only one that's ahead of us is Oak Creek. So Greendale is number 2 on the list of positive cases per capita. Am I saying that right, Sue? If I could just verify that.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so I just wanted to make sure I was saying all the right stuff. So it just is not going in a good direction, and honestly, there's really no answers to be had right now on what can be done. So one thing that I would ask of this board is that we put out a statement on our village website, and then also if we could do a post on the Village of Greendale Facebook page. And of course, I'm just asking for support from you guys, and I don't know how we'd go about this, Todd, but that we ask people, please wear a mask, please wash your hands, please social distance. And I would love if the board could support us and we could put that out there. So Todd, I guess, can I just ask?
We do have that on the sign too, Jason, already. Todd has it on the sign.
It's been out there. It's on the doors.
Yeah, Sarah put it out there. I'll be honest, I wrote an email to you guys this morning saying that I was going to strongly recommend after having correspondence with Sue Shepherd to cancel both the holiday events. I didn't do that, but I'm afraid we're headed to that.
So I'll just lead into that, and Donna, but yeah, me and Sue also talked about that today. And go ahead, Donna, I'll let you go into that part.
Well, just with public celebrations, we just had our public celebrations meeting, and it was a hot topic was the tree lighting and Dickens. We actually voted on the tree lighting since we're going to be doing it very, it's very limited compared to what we usually have. It's just going to be the tree lighting and maybe the popcorn guy and a peanut, the nut guy. And we don't even know if we're going to have, I don't even think we're going to have the choir, because the choir can't come as of right now. We were gonna have the Salvation Army, so that didn't work. And so we thought we still would have the tree lighting, but the Public Celebrations has recommended to cancel Dickens only because, you know, of the being in the stores. And it's just not a good time right now.
Thank you.
You want to add something to that, Jason? My
Yeah,
phone's gonna
so-
be, I mean, my computer's dying. I gotta go charge it.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, I had talks with Sue about that today and also at the health board that was something they would highly recommend canceling that. And so I was also at the Public Celebrations meeting and actually voted anonymously and everyone voted to cancel it. So the Dickens
So you
did get
guys
canceled.
voted against it? It's over?
Well, no, I mean, we wanted to bring it to the board and have the.
What's that?
We wanted to bring it to the
Not hearing
board.
anymore.
What?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So we wanted to bring it to the board and see have a discussion.
I don't know what you said, but okay.
She wanted to bring it to the board to have a discussion.
Okay.
But yes, at Public Celebrations, it was canceled.
But that is just a recommendation, just so you.
Correct.
Yeah. Trustee Chadwick.
My just a couple of thoughts. It is outdoors. That's a plus.
Yeah.
The second thing is it's still up to the people if they decide to come or not come. You try to make the best of it. You try to make if you decide to go through with this, you try to make the best of it, and you try to make sure that everybody realizes the importance of this. But in the end, it still winds up being a person's decision. You know, you can always say that.
I would
So,
agree
yeah.
with what you're saying, and I gotta say strongly, if there's ever a time that we should certainly look at canceling is now. But I'm gonna tell you, it's detrimental to people like me that have stores in the village, and I know that doesn't outweigh safety, but it will weigh into a lot of discussion. So I understand what you're talking about, and although this is an outdoor type of thing, and it's something we did these stuff in the summer, and I don't think we suffered too badly by doing those. And again, we do what we got to do. So my only comment, done with it. Further comments on this?
Yes, Jim. I guess one thing I just want to say, and during the summer, I honestly feel it was a totally different thing. We were having anywhere between 3 and 7 cases in a week. We've had 261 cases in the last week. So the spread is happening so much faster than what it was. It's so much different than what it was this summer. Trust me, I'm all about having events and
But we didn't know, never mind, not worth arguing on. But
no, I'm not arguing.
It's
I'm just
unfortunate that we did the things we did in the summer, knowing there was a virus and it could be spread. And that's kind of where we are now. I know we're a lot more and a lot going out there, but I'm not just speaking for my little business. I'll close, in fact, if that's what we have to do. Just a lot of people that count on it. But go ahead. Go on. I don't want to. Matt,
I guess my concern is that if word gets out that we're still having the event, and again, other communities aren't, they're going to come to our event. So are we inviting more people to come to the village? I mean, again, who wants this, and who would ever think that we would have to make such a decision on something like this? But there again, it's about public safety and public health and what's great and what's good for the people of Greendale. And again, I'm sorry that anybody that has a business or relies on this and everything, but again, it is public safety and it's public health. And I totally agree with Jason. I mean, I don't want to agree with him to the fact that it's sad that, you know, we're gonna have to do it, but we need to cancel this. I'm sorry.
You don't have to be sorry.
So my take on it is I agree on the summertime things. That's kind of why I'm okay with the tree lighting, because it's completely outside. The Dickens, I feel like there's more of an indoor component, and that's why I would agree with canceling that one.
Yeah, there definitely is an indoor component. That's what we talked about. 'Cause you know, to go into the shops, and I certainly don't want the shop to lose business either, but I think it's the right thing to do right now. I really
Can't understand you. I'm sorry. Maybe it's me.
I think we should stop this discussion because we're getting to the point where we're gonna have to make this decision anyways formally.
Well, wouldn't we do that now?
No, because it's not on the agenda to cancel events.
Well, could I make a motion for that or not?
No.
Put
To
it on.
under old business?
No.
No.
We have nothing on our agenda even close to action on canceling events.
Okay.
Which means I believe we'd have to have a special meeting next week.
I would suggest a special meeting, maybe even like Thursday, just via Zoom, because people are planning on things, and we don't want to make them spend any more money or take any more time.
Can anybody not make a special meeting Thursday on Zoom?
I have a Zoom meeting Thursday night away from the village. So you're talking about this Thursday, right?
How about any earlier than 7 o'clock?
I could do 6 o'clock on Thursday.
Anybody can't do 6 o'clock Thursday?
I don't.
I'm retired. I can do it.
I can't make it, but if you have quorum, go ahead.
Okay, we're just gonna try it. Donna, you said yes?
Yes.
Okay, and Ron, then if you don't care, then, I mean, I think we don't know what direction it's going.
So you're
You
gonna
know
have
what
a
direction
special
it's
Zoom
going.
meeting at what time?
6 PM on Thursday.
Well, I probably won't make it, but doesn't matter.
Well, anyways, just to let you know, our Go to Schools just voted to go all virtual to January 15th. So just the GMS schools. So no, so just to give you a heads up on that. So it's serious.
All right, I'll try to schedule a meeting. Why don't I do that? We'll see what
Okay.
time it is. All right, let's then move on to the next agenda item.
I'm afraid to move on. All right, let's move along. How about public health and welfare, Jason?
No meeting.
Park and rec.
No meeting.
Public celebration, I think we hit that enough.
We hit that.
All right, I don't have any appointments or resignations tonight. We'll move on to new business. BOT 2083, discuss the necessary action regarding providing a bid for the 2020 Safety Center fiber optic connection project. Manager Michaels, I take it, right?
Assistant Weishar.
All right, Assistant Weishar.
So if you recall, for the past several years, we've been trying to connect to fiber through multiple locations. Earlier this year, we approved an agreement with the Franklin School District to connect with their fiber, which actually is right across the street from the safety center. And in the 2020 budget, we included funding to connect to that. So we went out for bids, and the low bidder for the construction portion of it was Holtker Brothers in the amount of $24,499, which is actually under what was budgeted for construction. They anticipated about $33,000. So we should come in under budget. Our IT director has worked with these contractors before and does recommend them. So
I'll make a motion to approve BOT 20-83.
Second.
Further discussion?
Well, when will it be completed after we approve it?
it should be done before the end of the year, they anticipate.
Excellent. Thank you.
Further discussion? Take a roll call for approval.
Trustee Barbian,
Affirmative.
trustee Alette,
Aye.
trustee Sabarowski,
Aye.
trustee McFall,
Aye.
trustee Sell,
Aye.
trustee Chadwick,
Aye.
President Birmingham.
Aye. Item number B, BOT 2884. Discuss and necessary action regarding the creation of a flex shift for fire position. Who's giving this one?
The chief, Kenton Kice.
Go ahead, please, chief.
Hello. Did everybody get a copy of this form that I sent out?
I emailed it earlier this afternoon.
Perfect. Just real quick, it was just some information regarding our staffing that I thought you guys should know about. If you know, we have 3 shifts working here. We have 6 members assigned to each shift. However, there's vacation days, holidays, sick days, family leave, injury leave. And I did a count for 2020. Only 52 days of the year, we have 6 members working. That's only 14% of the time. 110 days of the year, we have 5 members working. That's 30%. The big concern here is 131 days that we have 4 members and 72 days of the year that we have under 4 members, which causing overtime. One of the things on the bottom of the page that you could see, the things that we do offer from the fire department. We have 1 fire engine, we have 1 fire truck, and we have 2 paramedic rigs. Typically, if we go on a normal EMS call, we have 2 members on our paramedic rig, and then 2 members follow them for manpower issues on the engine. If we would have a fire call in the village, alarm sounding, smoke assignment, we would go with 4 people on the truck. Then once you realize that, then that means the engine and the 2 med units are sitting in our apparatus bay, not being manned by anybody. That's just kind of an overview if we have 4 people. You already know my feelings of how many people that we think we should have, but today we're here to talk about the flex position. And one of the biggest things that I can point out for the flex position, that when we have 4 members working, or if we have under 4 members working, that was 203 days for this year. That's over 55% of the time. I think that's kind of alarming. If you go with just 1 flex firefighter, that would be equivalent to 108 work days of a 24-hour shift, which I come up with that number because you do 365 divided by 3 is 121 days, and then they get 13 holidays, which would equal about 108 shifts. That cuts that 55.6% in half by just adding that 1 flex position, which I think gives me a lot of movability to have 2 weeks in advance, and I can plan that person's schedule to fill in those days when we're short, and that would really save us on overtime. Granted, again, I want 6 people, but with a flex position that gives a lot of flexibility of how we schedule this person, I think is definitely a step in the right direction. That's my view.
Any questions, the chief? So, discussion, go ahead, Todd Michaels.
I just want to say I fully support trying this. I mean, it seems to be working for St. Francis. It seems to make the most sense to plug the people where we need them. Rather than, obviously, I'd love to find a way to at least add 3, but it's just so difficult now. But I think this is a first step. It's 1 towards 3 possibly. And I think it just makes sense, and I think it'll offset a lot of overtime. We will have to negotiate with the union so they could say no to it. I hope that's not going to be the case.
So I agree with you, Todd. I think this is long overdue. As budget have it, it's tight, but I understand and see that with the savings of overtime and some other stuff will pay for this. at least this year. And hopefully in the future, we'll find ways to move on with this. So,
Yeah, my intent would be to, I'd like to get them 3. This is one towards that, and I hope they would work with us to do this. So I think Jason had his hand up.
I'd like to make a motion to approve BOT 20-84.
Second.
I second it.
very good. Any further discussion? None, we'll take a roll call for approval.
Trustee Olet,
Aye.
trustee Sabarowski,
Aye.
trustee McFall,
Absolutely.
trustee Sal,
Yes.
trustee Chadwick,
Aye.
President Birmingham,
Um,
trustee Barbian.
Affirmative.
Very good. Moving on to BOT 2085, discussing necessary action regarding additional vacation days for the health department, placed on by trustee Salzan. Go ahead.
Matt, do you care if I start this off?
No, go ahead.
Okay. With being on the health board, I have been visiting the health department once a week or every other week. There's a lot of part-timers over there. They're working 6-7 days a week. A lot of the part-timers don't get any benefits as far as vacation time. So I thought this would be something really nice to do. Try to hopefully lift their spirits. And in talking with Sue about this, this is something she would kind of like schedule these days for them, talk to them, kind of make them take it off because they're just getting so burnt out. If you can imagine trying to contact trace for 261 people, that's just an overwhelming task. So I just thought this would be something really nice we could do for the health department and just give them a little break.
Bob, trustee Barbian.
I think this would be a good idea. What are you talking about? Amount of days and would they have to be approved, I assume, through Sue?
Correct. So it's 2 days to each person. And yes, it'd be approved through Sue and set up through Sue because they really need all these people. So they'd have to figure out how they would get these people off and still.
How many people are we talking about? Do you know? How many people are we talking about?
Todd, could you answer that?
Boy, they could be up to, I think now she's kept me up to breast. Sue, you'd have to answer. I think we're almost 10 now.
Well, I've got 9, but the 3 of them are relatively new. It's the ones that have been working, that are part-time, that have been working so many hours since March. So that would be 6 of them, 6 staff.
Okay, then I would certainly agree to do it for the 6.
All right.
Jason, did you come up with this idea?
No. Sue and I kind of talked about it, and then actually I talked with Todd about it, and Todd agreed 100% and said, yeah, this needs to happen.
Thank you. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah. Thank you too.
Let's roll it forward. Is there a motion out there for this?
I'd like to make a motion to approve BOT 20-85.
I will second.
As discussed.
As discussed.
I'll second it.
Okay.
Further discussion on this?
That's a good idea.
Okay, any further, we'll take a roll call for approving it. Is there
Trustee Sabarowski,
Aye.
trustee McFall,
Yes, and again, thank you, Sue.
Thank you.
trustee Sal,
Aye.
trustee Chadwick,
Aye.
President Birmingham,
I'm
trustee Barbian,
Aye.
trustee Olet.
Aye.
right. We'll move on to the next group. BOT 2086, discuss the necessary action regarding petition received by residents requesting a reduction of speeds along Loomis Road. Placed on the agenda by trustee Barbian and Jason. Either one of you want to start?
I'll start. If it's okay, Jason?
Yes.
It's okay, Jason?
Yep,
Okay.
for sure. Go ahead.
I was approached a while ago by some residents that use the crossing in front of Loomis by Sendex and Walgreens quite often, and through students that walk to school, wondering if we could approach the state to have the speed limit reduced from Walgreens. They said that people go through there quite fast. I said I would look into it, and she ended up contacting. I gave a petition to Todd, I think about a week ago. It's got about 50 signatures of residents of Greendale asking us to look at this. We also got a letter from the school asking us to take a look at, from a safety perspective, to take a look at this. So I had said I put it on the agenda for discussion. I think that the police chief has been out there before and watching for speeders and so forth. I think that since we have this many people that are saying it's an issue, we should definitely monitor it. And Todd, you have to tell me how we go about approaching the state to consider lowering it to a X amount. Again, that to be decided. I don't know what we do to look at it, but this comes from residents. I think we should take it worthwhile and take it forward and see where it goes. Jason, you have anything?
Yeah, I guess I'm going to agree with what you said. I saw what all the signatures from the residents, and then also what the school board submitted to us today, or the superintendent submitted.
Trustee Michael, Manager Michaels.
My suggestion would be, if we did this, what we would be doing, I believe, would be making a request to the state because it's a state highway that they have control of. I would suggest to make it simple, and I think it's somewhat of a spur to economic development along Loomis. If we slow that down a little bit, it's less of a freeway and more of a place where you can, come and turn off on easily and things like that. I would just make it within the village limits. I mean, it's 40 miles an hour speed limit north of the village.
Yep.
It's 55 south of the village. I would just ask the state to make it 40 miles an hour in the village of Greendale. From the north south end of Loomis at our borders. It just makes it easy to enforce, and makes sense. It makes sense for the community, I think. I mean, we get a lot of, Ryan Rose now knows, we've got a guy in the H section, they're basically ramping up, hundreds of yards before it goes to 55. They ramp up to 55 there. That's a very residential area. So that'd be my suggestion if we're going to do it. Personally, I support it. Also.
Trustee Jason. Go ahead, Jason.
Is there a reason why we wouldn't go to 35, Todd, per the residents' request and also superintendent's request?
You could ask, but you'd be going 40, 35, 55.
That's what I say. Have 3 different speed limits in 3 miles.
And then I guess one other question I just want to ask, and this has been a topic in the past, but the golf cart speed, what is that needed to be for people to get across from the S section into downtown Greendale?
I believe it's 35.
So I guess I would ask for 35 then, because that's something, we've been talking about that for over a year anyhow.
I just don't want it to become a speed trap. That's the only thing I'm afraid of.
What'd you say?
I don't want that to become a speed trap. Everyone getting, tickets right in that area for that little radius.
You're going 15 over, and I guarantee you, if it changes from 55 to 35, you're going to have a lot of people exceeding this.
Yeah.
You can pay for the
It's not
floor
gonna
and
be a
the
speed trap where they're
And I
creating.
told them we'll have a nice trap here.
Oh,
I would think 40. I agree with Todd. I think 40 would be realistic, but to the boards.
The other reason I would say 40, not to butt in too much, but is because you don't want to change people's driving habit where they may avoid us then. You'll not come up Loomis if they were stopping them, log jamming them to 35. They'll find some other way. They'll look on Google Maps and it'll tell them, a quicker way. I know, I don't even know if any of the board members know this, but Holmes Avenue, a resident told me, hey, if you look in Google Maps to get the Jimmy John's from just about anywhere to the west of the village, it tells you to come down Holmes Avenue.
Jason, why would you look at
You don't
35?
go down Edgerton.
I would like to do 35 starting roughly at Grange, and then once we got past
And what
Walgreens.
drives your request to take it down further?
I'll be honest with you. Yes, I saw what the residents asked, but also the superintendent. She sent the email to all of us today
Yeah, but,
asking for it to be 35.
I understand that, but okay, all right.
Yeah. I
Yes.
guess one more thing.
Please,
I
go
guess I would like to make a motion to approve BOT 20-87, but I would like it to be 35 miles an hour.
So to clarify your motion, you want staff to contact the state that the village board has asked us. You're basically asking the staff to approach the state on your behalf to turn it to 35 and where?
I guess I'd almost want to ask Ryan that question, have his input on this also, but I was thinking from Grange to Walgreens.
Not gonna be.
Or even past college possibly.
I would support it past right to college.
Right to college.
Yeah, my only thought is if you get 35 from Grange to college, you may need to have it go up from college to the border because it's going to go from 35 to 55.
Yeah, I
Like
don't.
going into Franklin,
Well
so
done.
you may need to increase somewhere from college to the village's border into Franklin.
I'd be okay with that. I'd support that.
I know.
Put that into my motion also.
Okay.
Matt, would you still second that?
Yeah, I'd second that. The chief suggested.
I'd like to make another motion over that.
Hey, you can't, there's a motion that's second on the floor there.
All right, go ahead.
We haven't had discussion yet, though.
Discussion on this?
I would just say that I was initially approached and I hear where they're coming from, particularly with that, but I do agree with what Manager Michaels had mentioned, have all these different speeds. I think 40 would be more realistic. It's not that we can't revisit this in the future. You're talking about in a short period of time, jumping from 3 different speeds. And so I would agree with Jason's motion to have the staff move up and talk to the state, but I would recommend 40.
So, go ahead, trustee Chadwick.
I'm just wondering, is there any type of way that we could get some type of a study and from all the way from 27th Street all the way out to Franklin on Loomis Road to get a study of not only the speed differences from that point to Franklin and also the traffic problems with traffic or accidents along the way as well. I think that would help make the decisions to make it easier, not only on the driver, which is we want some kind of unity through that area. And 35 may be the answer if we can get it all the way. So, but we need that study. So I would ask that we try to find a study and go to the state with that.
We could do that, but it'll cost a lot of money. mean, you're talking all over where from Loomis and 27th to where I mean, it's a lot of traffic study.
Yeah, I
Again,
don't want to spend that.
I'm gonna, I ask that the motion be repeated to me so I know what the motion is.
The motion was to approve BOT 20-87 from Grange to College at 35, and then at that point to turn it up the speed limit, like Ryan mentioned, until the end of our village limits.
So you're saying 35?
Correct, yes.
I can't go for that. Okay. Just go ahead, trustee Olet.
I'm just wondering what, what brought this up? Why did they want it so low?
That's what I say.
And that's why we have the bridge there. I don't understand.
He said because of the school, I guess.
But what? What about the school? What happened?
What happened?
No, I
What?
was asking Jason.
Go ahead.
There's so many kids that are
I can
crossing.
answer.
When you say so many,
So many kids are crossing where?
Over by Sendex and Walgreens.
Oh, did they get rid of the crossing guard?
I'll be honest, I've never seen a crossing guard
Oh,
there.
yeah, there's a crossing guard there for school.
there is not there, one there.
I've never seen one there, and I go through there all the time.
Yeah, during school there is, unless they took it out.
Must have got rid of it.
They got rid of it?
They may have when they went virtual. When the
Oh.
high school went virtual.
It's always was there in the past.
No, when they went virtual, they may have.
We have had a crossing guard there the whole school year until they went virtual. And now we've just stopped it until school starts back up.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so I don't know why all this call is for this.
I would say the same thing.
Well, some of it is walkers, not all school, people that walk from the O section and L section. If you look at the petition that came, a lot of them walk across there. It's not just the school, but they were the ones that came up with the 35. I think they would just like it to be, if it is 40 or 35, but the point is
Again, when I first
to
saw this,
address
they
the
were
issue,
doing that.
take a look at it. It's not just kids, but that was the second.
Well, I know it's a lot of people, but I'd like to know how many people cross that street every day. And not that that's a big issue.
No, I mean, when the stoplights are there, there's also a walk, you can push the button. I've never had a problem there. So
I agree. I think, I don't like 35, Jason. I thought
very low.
40, if we went from 40 to, and then goes up to 55 in Franklin, I thought that's,
Can I maybe suggest that we at least get the ball rolling and talk to the state first and then see what maybe their suggestion is? I mean, it's 40, again, it's 40 north and then it hightails up to 55. I mean, if we go to the state and talk to them at least, maybe they can give us a better idea. Maybe the state will say, no, that's it. The lowest we'll go is 40. But I mean, if that's what their decision is on it, then I guess we'll have to go with it. And at least it's something. But again, I think we should maybe at least approve that we should look into this.
That's what
and then possibly ask the state saying, what's your suggestion on it? And again, about lowering it and see how far they'll actually let us lower it.
I agree with Robbie. It's the state's call in the end anyways. So we could just say that we're getting requests to lower it. Some want to lower it to 40, some want to lower it to 35. What would you guys agree to? It's your call.
I like that.
Thank you.
Let's do that. That's good move. All right, with that, do we have the motions and second agree?
I have a motion and a second for Jason's original for going from Grange to College for 35 and then increasing it from College to the.
Would you guys concur to take the 35 out?
I don't think so, no.
Well, then I'm gonna make another motion for doing that.
You gotta vote on the first one.
Well, so we'll do yours first on 35, and I'm gonna do a motion that's gonna allow them to do it, so. All right.
I just think we should at least try for that. And if the state comes back to us and say, no, it's only 40, well, then it's 40. At least we tried for the lower one.
All right, with that, we have a first and second on the first motion.
Can somebody read the first motion? What is the first motion?
It's going from Grange to College for 35 miles per hour and then College to the borderline, increasing the speed.
Thank you.
All right, take a roll call.
Trustee McFall,
No.
Trustee Self,
Aye.
Trustee Chadwick,
No.
President Birmingham,
No.
Trustee Barbian,
No.
Trustee Olet,
No.
Trustee Siborowski.
Aye.
All right, the motion I would like to make is a motion that we lower the speed through Greendale. It can be set from any location, but that we ask the state what they would advise, giving them our range of where we were thinking, so.
I mean,
I'll second that motion.
yeah, what I would intend on doing, and I want to add it, is saying some people want it to go to 35, some people want it to go to 45.
Okay, that's fine.
What would you do?
Adding in
What's their
35.
recommendation?
Some people want 35, some want 45. Do I have a second on that?
Second it.
We'll take a roll call for approval.
Hold on, you got Matt.
I just wanted to say I misunderstood earlier and I would have supported this the first time. So sorry about that.
It's fine. All right, roll call.
Trustee Self,
Aye.
Trustee Chadwick,
I have a question before I answer.
Yep.
Todd, is there a way we can, have the state to explain to, all of us, what powers that we have to change the, road, mileage on that road? Do we have any powers on that, or do we have to go through state?
I can ask the state to tell us if we can unilaterally change the speed on their own road. Yeah.
Have to go to state.
Okay.
All right.
Aye.
And your vote is? You a yes or no?
I said aye.
Oh, yeah.
President Birmingham,
Aye.
Trustee Barbian,
Aye.
Trustee Olet, Trustee Siborowski,
Aye.
Trustee McFall.
Aye.
All right, we'll send this, and then Todd, you'll take care of the language part.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, very good.
One
All right, with
quick
that, we're
question on
going to
this.
move on to item, yes, Trustee Jason, go ahead.
Todd, I guess, could you just please reach out to the superintendent of the schools to find out a little bit more information regarding her letter also?
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Todd, I don't know if you remember this, but remember we had a situation at that intersection where Walgreens was, is that people were complaining that the lights weren't long enough for people to actually cross. People were only getting halfway through, and the state was very cooperative with us and then adjust that timer so that we could get that there's a long period of time that when you push the button that we have enough time to get across that. So again, that's something that I know Trustee Olet was kind of bringing up about, what's going on with that intersection and why, who brought it up. So we have in the future or in the past made attempts to accommodate some of these complaints.
And I know we've gotten the reduced speed on Loomis one a few times before from various individuals.
I think they've been good to work with us. Okay, thank you.
I know that this probably isn't the time, but just to bring up again, there's still a problem with the stop sign on Walgreens turning right with that sidewalk there. Still a problem.
All right, thank you, everybody. Moving on to the last BOT 2087. Discuss the necessary action regarding resolution 2020-18. Salary resolution setting the 2021 wage for non-rep employees. Manager Michaels or?
No, I've got it. The number, so it's a resolution, typical of what we adopt every year. I changed the format this year to upgrade it, try to streamline it. So it has 3 exhibits. The one are the new wages for non-reps. These are exactly the same as what I sent you, the board, approximately a month ago. With the exception, we found an error in the fire chief's starting pay or pay for 2020. I did also rename some of the positions arbitrarily myself, and I'm recommending these because I think they're only for the positive. One is in yellow there, DPW crew leader. That used to be foreman. Well, you're supposed to get away from gender terms, and DPW crew leaders seem to me to be almost like a promotion without the money. We did have to add a couple of people, the senior accountant who we added, a new dispatcher, a couple other corrections to wages. We're now calling, well, I'll go farther. So exhibit B is the old salary ranges. I raised the ranges by what I said I was going to when I sent it to the board. Basically 1%. So that's what we did here. Did change some titles to kind of get back more in the modern age. Clerk type, we got the DPW crew leader. Equipped the old serviceman. Robbie will like this one. The old serviceman and DPW we're now calling equipment operator. I think it's more in with what they do. And then the old assistant water plant operator we're calling utility operator. And then I'm suggesting instead of clerk dispatcher, we go to emergency services dispatcher. It's just more modern, and a lot of people are getting away from that term clerk. Unless you're the village clerk, you're a clerk now is not a term people are using. They're administrative assistants. We dropped the clerk typist connotation. Now it's an administrative assistant. It's just more modern. And then exhibit C are the elected officials did 2% raises here where they were applicable. These only go into effect after the people who voted on it get reelected. So we're basically doing this for next April. We did raise the election workers, which we hadn't talked about before. Court bailiff is, I did 2%, police transcriber range 2%, crossing guards 2%, and that's really it. I mean, you guys have had this for a while. So I guess if there's any questions.
I would just make a motion to approve BOT 20-87.
Second, do I have a second?
Second.
All right, any more comments or discussion? None, we'll take a roll call for approving.
Trustee Chadwick?
Aye.
President Birmingham?
Aye.
Trustee Barbian?
Affirmative.
Trustee Alette?
Aye.
Trustee Sabarowski? Trustee McFall?
Aye.
Trustee Sell?
Aye.
Very good. Moving on to item number 9, everybody has the reports from police, fire, public works, water, health. Any questions for any of the department heads that are on? All right. How about the village manager?
All the reports.
What's that?
Well done on all the reports.
Okay.
Very informative.
Manager Michaels?
Yeah, I don't have anything. It's late enough.
All right, I agree. Nothing on my end. We'll move to item number 10, which is the last citizens' comments. We wish to address the board. Give your name and address for the record. Anybody that is online yet? If you would speak up and give your name and address for the record.
Everybody has been unmuted, so.
Again, anybody wishing to address the board, name and address for the record. Hearing none, we will move to item 11, which is going to move us into closed session. So,
Jim?
yeah, go ahead.
Jim, given that the time it's getting to do now and the subject of the closed session and the fact that we're going to have a rather short meeting later this week anyways, I'd suggest we have the closed session when we have our next special village board meeting this week.
That's a good
But
idea.
I thought that Jim
Great
and
idea.
Ron can't come.
Everybody agreeable with that?
But Jim, I thought you and Ron couldn't come
Yeah,
Come where?
to
I
the
can come
special
at
meeting.
7. If you make that.
Guys and gals, I'll schedule it and we'll get as many as it'll be later this week, early next week, obviously with Thanksgiving coming up. But
Okay.
I'll see when the meeting is.
better served.
Okay, with that, I'll take a motion for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
Don't move.
Take a roll call for adjournment.
President Birmingham,
Aye.
Trustee Barbian,
Aye.
Trustee Alette,
Aye.
Trustee Sabarowski,
No.
Trustee McFall,
Aye.